Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So this time you join me down in Surrey and we're at Thorpe Fishery. So quite a famous fishery down this way, and we're here for the YouTube vloggers annual match. I say match, it's more of a social. It's technically a match for the biggest fish, but it is more about the beers, the barbecues and catching up with everybody. So I was lucky enough to go along to my first YouTube vloggers social last year, which I think it was July, down in Devon, and that was at a place called Coking Farm. We was on like a proper runs water. Everyone caught loads of fish. I didn't catch anything big, but plenty of them. And yeah, lucky enough to be invited back this year for the Thorpe social. So I haven't actually been here for 16 years. I came once for the British Junior Carp Angling Championships, and it was my last year I was able to fish in those. I was 16. I fished them 3 years on the bounce. And yeah, it was my last year, and it was the year where I was probably most likely to do well. I'd come 16th in the final the year before when I was 15 at Linear on Brasenose 1. And yeah, this year when I fished it down here, it was my best chance. I was able to cast quite far. I was, you know, anyone that could spot far and fish accurately over the top had a good chance. And basically the draw was just to pick out the hat. It wasn't a watercraft draw for the eliminators. It was just pick out the hat, and whatever swim you pick, that's where you fish. And I picked a swim. It's a few swims down for me to the right actually. Now, you got an island slap bang in the front of it, 20 yards out, and I couldn't get to any open water. Josh Hillman, who was fishing just to my left, could cast up the side of the island, and he had like 200 odd pound of fish in the day. So yeah, unfortunately it wasn't to be back then, but yeah, we got here this morning, had a good drive down. I've actually done a lot of fishing over the last week or so. I've done the Simo social and then a few nights on Stanton, had a week off work and loads of fishing. So had a good drive down this morning, met up in the car park. Yeah, haven't seen any of these lads for 12 months. And yeah, we did the draw, and this time it was just picking beer cans out of a basket, and whatever number was on the bottom was your swim. So I got swim 39. Initially I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest. I wanted more of an open water swim, and this is kind of tucked down the end a little bit. There's literally fish boshing out as I'm kind of doing this little bit to camera now. Yeah, initially I was a bit disappointed, and I took the mark float out near the island, and it was mega shallow, like 2 and a bit foot, and I pulled it back, and about halfway over, 2/3 of the way over, it a little bit deeper, sort of 4 or 5 foot. And then all of a sudden the fish just appeared from nowhere. They were fizzing everywhere all over the surface. So initially I was going to put a little bit of bait in, 2 rods on top, but I've just chucked 2, the fish are lumping out behind the camera like crazy. Yeah, just took 2 solid bags out there to start with, just because there's so many fish about. One about halfway over, one just a touch further. And yeah, I'm going to try and just nick a quick bite to start with. If nothing materialises within the next hour or so, I'm going to put some bait in. It's a pellet and boilie only rule here. So yeah, that's what I've got, pellet and boilies. A little bit of chod on the bottom out there. The float will pop up, but it's certainly not clean, so probably just little spinners with little pop-ups on. Yeah, and hopefully we'll have a few. So there's loads of fish in here. The place has changed a lot over the years. It used to have a bit of a bad rep, you know. A lot of the fish, I believe, came from Drayton Res years ago, and they kind of got mashed up mouths and that. And they're still in here. A lot of the fish that I'm seeing pictures of now in here are really, really nice fish, like mega young, like clean fish, like perfect, you know. And they're all growing on really well. There's I don't know much about the stock. They go to high 30s, I believe, and I think there is a fair few 30s in here, but I think it's generally going to be doubles with hopefully a few 20s thrown in. But yeah, obviously I'll keep you updated as things progress, and hopefully we catch a few. So I'll speak to you later. So we've had a change. We left those solid bags out for a couple of hours. Nothing happened. There was fish showing over by the island, but didn't have any liners really, and didn't really feel that close to catching one. Fish seemed just a little bit further out. So brought them in. They were covered in silkweed, so decided that I needed to fish spinner rigs over bait. That's how I'm confident fishing on these sort of venues. They see loads of bait, there's loads of fish in here, and I just think that's the best way to fish them, really, nice and tight and accurate. So I put 2 little spinner rigs out there at 14.5 wraps. I get a drop, it's sort of 4 and a bit foot. If I kind of pull the rod up in the air as the lead hits the water, I can get a drop, just with a little helicopter setup, just so the spinner's just sitting over the silkweed. And then I put probably 8 spoms, really, really tight, sort of 6 foot apart, all of them, of just pellet and boilie. So obviously, like I said earlier, that's the rules on here. So I've just wet them all down a little bit, so it gives the spom a little bit of weight. Yeah, and they all went out perfect, you know, really, really good. And yeah, it didn't take very long at all. There was coots diving over me, and I had one bleep. I was sat on my bed, and then the left-hander just absolutely peeled off, just the little pink 13mm pop-up on that spinner. Yeah, and had myself a nice £20 12-ounce mirror to start off. One of the older fish in here, one of the Drayton fish, as they were known. But yeah, it was quite a nice one, real nice colours on it. It really didn't behave on the bank very well, and my audio played up a little bit with the footage that I got, so I'll just lay that in now. So yeah, it was a really nice fish. Like I say, great to get off the mark so soon, and my first Thorpe fish for 16 years. So rods are back out now, another 4 spoms over the top. Hopefully we can have a few more. Right, I'll speak to you in a bit. Oh. Okay, so it's just gone 2 AM and we've got fish number 2. So I've been having liners for the last probably hour or so. Same as Steve next door. I've been hearing his alarms going as well with liners. I knew there was a few fish about, but it seemed to take a little while to go, but eventually it did. This time on a yellow spinner, little 13mm, nailed bottom lip, real good hook hold. And as you can see, it's a really, really pretty carp. Just over £14, and I guess this is the future of Thorpe. This is the new stock that they've got in here, and I'm sure you'll agree, absolutely incredible. You know, you imagine these when they were put sort of mid-20s and bigger, like real nice fish. So yeah, well chuffed with that one. So just going to get a few stills, slip her back and get the rod back out there. Happy days. Morning, so it's nearly 9 AM now, Saturday morning, and yeah, we had that lovely scaly one in the night which you saw. Managed to get a little bit of sleep after that, and then I was woke up at about 6:30 to another take on my right hand rod, but unfortunately I had that on for 30 seconds, if that. It just kited round to the right, and then I had a hook pull again on a spinner rig, which is unfortunate because that last fish was absolutely nailed. So yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. So yeah, it's been a beautiful morning. So I've been up, and there's been a bit of fizzing coming up close in and kind of different ranges. I've had a bit of a cast around with some solid bags, but nothing's happened, or nothing since that bite early off the bait. So yeah, I'm back out on the bait now with both rods, one on a spinner, one on a solid bag with just a little yellow pop-up in it as well. Something that I've caught a lot of fish on these sort of waters before. But yeah, I've had a little bit of breakfast, a bit of bacon on the barbecue, and yeah, got swans diving on my spot at the moment. I don't think they can quite reach it. It's just over 4 foot. Really hope I don't get picked up by a swan. That wouldn't be ideal. But yeah, I think they're just getting bits of bait that are kind of hung up in the weed. They dive in for a little bit and then they're kind of moving on. So probably tell me that they can't quite get it all. Yeah, I'll update you if anything happens. Just going to stick on the spots. Another kind of, like I say, wind blowing in here, quite a warm day, shallow area of the lake, so I'm sure we'll get another chance, hopefully not too long. Right, catch you in a bit. Okay, so it's 10:30 now, Saturday morning, and we've got fish number 3 after losing that one this morning. So it's been a little bit of a quieter morning so far. There's been hardly any fish showing, if any at all actually, down our end. Again, it's looked pretty dead. There's been swans constantly on the spot. But yeah, same as yesterday, 2 coots came over. They were diving on the spot, and then the rod just ripped off out the blue. This time on the solid bag with just that little whittled down 13mm yellow popper. Caught so many fish out of these types of waters on that hook bait. So yeah, a real nice one. £22, so my biggest fish so far. Another one of the new fish that are in here. So yeah, proper stunning. Well happy with this one. Right. Nearly behaved all the way through. Okay, right, we're gonna get back, get some stills. Afternoon guys, so it's about 3:30 now. So yeah, mid-afternoon, and unfortunately no more fish on the bank. So I'll be honest, I've been pretty tired. I've been laying on my bed for the last sort of few hours. Yeah, I had some lunch, been catching up on the football, first day of the Premier League back today, so been listening to a little bit of that and just generally chilling out. We've had some decent weather come in though, to be fair. We've had some nice winds pushing down this end of the lake, overcast conditions. The sun's out now, but it has been looking really good for a bite down here. We even had a couple of showers, but nothing's been happening. You know, no one's really caught anything. It's been very quiet, you know, for a lake with so many fish in it. Has been quiet. But Leon just popped round for a chat. He's fishing 2 swims down, and as I was stood talking to him, my left hander just absolutely churned off. Solid bag, little pink inside there this time, and yeah, it felt really heavy from the start, and I thought it was a good fish. But unfortunately, when I got it closer in, where the lead had kind of slid up the line, because I'm not dropping the leads, it had just got a load of silkweed, about 3 rod lengths of silkweed, all knotted on the line. So I ended up trying to hand line it in, and got the fish to like within sort of a few feet from the bank, really, nearly at the net. And the hook come out. I did see it. It wasn't a very big one. It was one of the older Drayton fish, probably about 12 or 15 pound or something. So gutted to have lost one. But yeah, at least it wasn't the big one that could have won me the match. So yeah, so I've had 5 bites now, landed 3. So gutted to have lost a couple, really, but really pleased. I think down this end of the lake, I think there's obviously Chris to my left, and then there's 3 guys to my right. Yeah, so 5 of us in a line here, and I'm the only one that's had a bite. So obviously doing something right. But yeah, we've got the rod back out, just took that solid bag back out there, and a few more spawns over the top. So we've got another couple of hours before we wind in, go and order a takeaway and have a bit of a social up in Hugh and Sean's swim. So yeah, whether we'll get another chance before then, I don't know. The bites have been quite sporadic. You know, it's not been kind of one then another. It's been hours apart. So yeah, I guess we're still getting bites. So look on the positive side. Right, I'm gonna go and listen to the rest of the football. Speak to you in a bit. Oh, right. So no sooner have we got that solid bag back out that you've literally just seen me cast 5 spawns over the top, and it's gone straight away for the first time. And wait till you see this. So £30, 6 ounces, one of Thorpe's finest, a proper carp. So it's the new biggest fish of the match so far. So yeah, if I was to pick one fish to lose out of those 2 that I've just had, it was definitely that first one. What a bloody carp. So it's just the same on both sides. I'll flip it round. Okay, so there's the other side. What a fish. I'd say £30, 6 ounces. Proper scaly banger. Taking on that solid bag, little trim down, washed out pink. Happy days. Right, just gonna stick her in the retainer for a second while we get the camera kit ready and get a few stills. Proper. So it's just gone 6 o'clock, guys, and I'm on my way down for the social. I've got my beers, got 3 left. So yeah, looking forward to going and catching up with the guys down the bottom that I haven't seen all weekend. So after that big one, I did end up having another one pretty much straight away. Solid bag rod went again. This time it was 13.5 pound, nice scaly one. Again on the little pink hook bait. So I think later when I get back, I'm going to have to put both rods on solid bags. I've had 3 bites, 3 or 4 bites this afternoon on that. So yeah, can't really ignore that. So yeah, I've tied up some solid bags in readiness for when we get back. And I put a load of bait out as well, put about 15, 20 spawns out. Complaining about being knocked off the top spot for the big fish. Yeah, so put a load of spawns out. And yeah, hopefully they'll get on that when we get back. So I think I put 15 or 20 out, something like that. So yeah, we're going to get down, have a good social, catch up with everybody, and yeah, get the rods out again later. So I'll catch up with you in a bit. See you later. Evening, so we've just got back from the social, so I'm absolutely knackered. So I don't really drink at all, really, but I've had 5 San Miguel this evening, and it's enough to make me feel very tired. So I've had a great evening down with the lads down in the fishing bloggers swim. So we obviously all went down there, had a bit of a get together. Everyone caught up with each other and drank a few beers. So yeah, great to see everybody. Really good group of lads. We ordered a KFC in, so we all had some food, and yeah, a bit of music on, and kind of chilled out. Really nice evening. And obviously the lads around that area all kept their rods out, and I was kind of hoping that somebody had a bite. And yeah, it happened last year at Coking Farm. I think Sean had a bite, but yeah, Nath ended up having a bite this year, which was pretty cool. So we all stood around, and obviously everyone videoing him and whatnot, and yeah, he ended up getting it in. It was, I don't think he weighed it. It was probably about 12 or 14 pounds, something like that. But yeah, we all got to get see that and get a photo, and yeah, real good evening. So just got back, and I've just chucked 2 solid bags out, sort of 6 or 8 foot apart, something like that, and put another 10 spoms over the top, and yeah, looks good for another couple of bites. Although, to be honest, I'd be pretty happy with a good night's sleep, and that's not me being ungrateful at all. I'm really happy with what I've caught. The lake's fished pretty slow, really, I think, by Thorpe standards. So to have 5 fish out of 7 bites, you know, I'm really grateful for that. I'd rather a good night's sleep, and the lads that haven't caught catch one tonight. You know, that would make me happier than me catching. So yeah, the rods are out anyway, and I'll catch up with you in the morning before we leave, and obviously they'll do a presentation for the winner, which at the moment is me leading the way, but there are, I think, 50 odd 30s in this lake, so yeah, I'm not counting my chickens yet, but yeah, that'd be a nice touch, wouldn't it? Let's see what happens. Right, I'll catch you in the morning. Morning guys, so just after 6 o'clock now, Sunday morning. So last morning we got to be off by 10, so not too long to go now. So it was a quiet night for me on the fish front, nothing happened, but about an hour ago, Steve next door, who went into the night on the blank, pulled it out the bag and had one. So yeah, he had a lovely, I think it was like just under 24 pound common, I think it was. Really nice fish, one of the younger, newer fish in here again. So yeah, not a bad one to have as an only fish. So yeah, I was chuffed for him, to be fair. He took out both my rods, bringing the fish in, which is kind of inevitable. These swims over here, particularly on this little stretch that we're on, are so close together. So I ended up in the water in my waders, kind of untangling everything and getting everything sorted. But to be fair, I did take him out last night, that 13 pounder, just before we went out the social. Took both of his rods out as well, so kind of we're even now. Yeah, so I took the opportunity with the rods out the water just to have a wander up the bank. Saw that Nath was playing one, quite a few swims down, to be fair, so I gave him a hand and he just netted that one, which was a nice common, probably an upper double. And yeah, I've come back and just chucked the rods back out. We've got, like I say, a few hours to go. Not really sure whether I'm going to catch another one or not. Obviously yesterday afternoon was pretty good. You know, there was clearly some fish down here. There's plenty of bait out there. They've not been in the night. It's obviously quite shallow. They're obviously moving out in the night. But yeah, there's plenty of bait there if they want to come back in and have a feed. So we've got 2 solid bags, bang on the bait, and yeah. But if I don't have anything else, I'll be more than happy. You know, I've had a great session. Yeah, so I will catch up with you either way before we finish the session. Right, get the coffee on and have a bit of breakfast. See you in a bit. Right, so we're back on the M40, heading up towards the Midlands, and that is the YouTube social done for 2023. So it's been a great event, really enjoyed it. Nothing else happened on the fish front this morning. They didn't turn back up in our bay, so that 13 pounder was my last fish yesterday. Ended up with 5 fish, losing 2. So well happy with that, really, considering the way the lake was fishing. So we packed up this morning and headed up to the car park for the presentation, which Hugh did.
Right, so that's the end of the session then, and a bit of a cracking one, lads. Everyone enjoyed it?
Yeah, brilliant.
Good. I think we've had about 36 fish out between us all, so yeah, not a bad little average, and quite a few 20s, so well done all. This year's winner is Jack with a lovely 30 pounder, so fair play. So Jack, here you go, mate.
Thank you very much.
You get the really joyful effort of having to pay 15 quid to get it engraved.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Yeah, been a great trip, and yeah, what a cracking fish to win it with.
Yeah.
So yeah, cheers lads.
Well, mate.
Happy days.
That's enough for this year then, so safe travels home, lads, and we'll see you all again next year.
Hey!
Yeah. Well done, Hugh.
Cheers, Dan.
Cheers, Dan.
Cheers, Dan.
Whose else is this on here?
Well done.
Thank you very much.
Only you take rubbish home.
So yeah, I was lucky enough to win this year's event with that 30 pounder that I had yesterday, that really nice scaly one. So I'm sure everyone would agree it's fitting to win any match. You know, it was an absolute belting fish. It has done 35 pound apparently in the past when it, you know, it's winter weight. But yeah, it was a belting fish, and I'm absolutely made up with it. So yeah, I get to take away the trophy this year and get my YouTube name engraved in it, which will be pretty cool. So that will stay on there for as long as they keep running these matches every year. So yeah, it's been a great weekend. I really enjoyed it. Like I say, exactly the same as last year. I said the same thing then. They're a great bunch of guys, and the way we do the draw is you kind of fishing next to different people each year, pretty much. And me being fairly new to the group, I don't really know anybody. So I fished next to sort of 3 or 4 people that I didn't really speak to last year because they were on the opposite side of the lake. So Chris, Steve, Leon next door. So yeah, it was really good to get to know those guys. You know, all great chaps, and we've had a right laugh. It's been a pleasure to fish next to them. So yeah, and I guess Thorpe is a fishery. Like I say, it's been a long time since I've fished there. 16 years ago, and it was a different fishery back then in terms of the fish, obviously full of those Drayton fish. But I must say, the thing that has impressed me most about the fishery is the fish stock. Those newer fish that were either stocked when they were younger or they've grown on in the lake, they're obviously the fish to be catching. They're incredible. The amount of those that we had outnumbered the Drayton fish, and they were just absolutely pristine, and the size of them as well. Like I say, I had 2 20s and a 30. I think everyone that caught, which there was only 3 of us that blanked out of our group, had fish to sort of like 25 pound, and there were all these newer, younger fish that have got loads of potential. So clearly the boilie and pellet only rule is working. The fish are growing on well in there, and yeah, I've got nothing but good things to say about that. It was brilliant. You know, the guys running the lake there, the 2 girls that kind of greeted us and said bye at the end, brilliant, really friendly. You know, they're full of information when you want information off them about different swims, and yeah, it's a well-run fishery, and yeah, nothing but good things to say about it really. So yeah, if you've got this far into the video, again, thank you very much for watching, and if you haven't already done so, please drop us a subscribe, like the video, drop a comment if you enjoyed it, and I will catch you when I'm on the bank next time. Right, take it easy.